Hey there, it is Tomster here on the behalf of Indie Structure Productions with another throwback baritone episode. So, started off this series last week and, keeping it going, of course. This time, working on some fretboard inlays. Actually, a fretboard inlay, seeing as this only has one of them. I will be doing the inlay out of this brass tubing and then some rosewood. So first things first, I don't know what I'm looking for. Oh, there we go, super glue. First things first, I drill the right size hole for the tubing, put in some super glue. Then again, go looking for something. There we go. Remember, preparation is key. So I press down the tube. And I found this to be the easiest way to cut through stuff like this. I used to use a hacksaw, but it caused some issues. Jeweler's saw is much easier. There we go. Quick, efficient, easy. And to make sure that it's properly in place, I usually go ahead and I hammer it down just a tiny bit. Good bit smidge. And then I start to fill that hole up with some rosewood. Easy enough to use dust. I'm using dust and some bigger bits from me drilling, just to make it look as though there's some grain there. Then there is a different way of doing this that I have in an upcoming series, which is quite cool. It's where you take the tube and then you take some offcuts and use a pencil sharpener. I don't know what's happening with my voice there. You take a pencil sharpener and you sharpen that scrap of wood so that it fits in the tube, hammer it in place, and then cut off the rest. Then it looks more or less like a continuation of the fretboard. Anywho, I hadn't sanded the fretboard radius down all that much. I had got it down to, I think, 180 before I started doing the inlay. So it's still pretty rough. Which meant that I had more than enough to still work with when sanding down the inlay. Of course, I used a file at first to kind of get the most of it off, because it is brass after all, so sanding it is somewhat difficult. Then on to the side dots. I'm just using smaller brass tubing for this as well, to keep it consistent. First things first, I just mark out which positions they're going to be at. Now, this is the thing that you want to do early on with neck throughs. Like I've said before, if you're building a neck through instrument, you kind of want to do the neck as far along as you possibly can. It just makes your life so much easier. Because right now, I have the body wings glued in, and I have to do the side dots. And if you're looking at where the neck meets the body, that causes a couple of issues. But there are ways around it. Just a long drill bit, or an extension on the drill bit, or whatnot. I didn't manage to catch it on video, but I used some of that brass tubing to actually make a sort of extension for my drill bit. It's a bit fiddly, but yeah. So I'm marking everything carefully. I'm marking both the middle of the fretboard and then in between the exact middle of the 2 frets on either side. It's always a matter of measure, cut before doing any of this stuff. There we are, getting my trusty Incra because it's just so much easier. Once that's all done, I take a bradawl and struggle with holding the guitar straight. And once again, I'm making doubly sure, so I'm measuring before I'm actually marking out the positions properly. Just so I have my side dots exactly in the middle of the fretboard. Now you can see that even marking these out is a bit of a hassle due to the body wings. And then on to drilling. And you just want to make sure that the angle at which you drill is perfectly straight, because if you angle your drilling and you're using tubing, they're not going to look like tubes anymore. They're not going to look like circles. They're going to look like ovals once you're actually done with the process. Which would not be good. Alright, and then just a little dollop of super glue. So a little dollop of super glue, push the tube in. Basically repeating the same process as with the fretboard inlay. Trimming it down. And then hammering it in place, just so that it's seated properly. Last thing you want is for your side dots to kind of fly off at some point. I want to make sure that those are seated very, very well. But yeah, it is a fairly simple process. So you just keep on going at it. The one thing that for some reason I couldn't find video footage of was me filing the side dots down. I don't know whether it got lost or whether it was not filmed or what happened there, but anywho. So when trimming these down flush, I first used a fret leveling file to get down most of it, and then I finished it all off with a leveling beam and some, I think 150, 180 grit paper. And that gets the job done very well. But yeah, we are reaching the end of this video. I hope you have enjoyed my odd ramblings about the subject matter, and I hope you will join me again next week for some more rambliage. At least I'll hope to see you guys next week. It's been kind of weird because quite literally I just woke up and I'm doing this commentary because I ran out of time for a deadline because it's been a crazy week. So hopefully I'll be able to do this a little bit better next week. Anywho, my brain lagged out. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe down below. Alrighty, bye bye.